The mystery of the town, Emily and her strange family. While navigating through the chaos of life in the big city on an app called Tinder, one profile caught my attention. A young woman named Emily, with a captivating smile in her photos. There was a warmth in her eyes and a gentle expression on her face. Our conversation, which began with a few messages, quickly deepened, and a week later we decided to meet in person. On our first date, I was struck by Emily's liveliness and warm-heartedness. As we talked, I didn't notice how time flew by. After a few dates, Emily asked me to be her boyfriend. Though it surprised me a bit to form such a strong bond in such a short time, I accepted her offer, overwhelmed by my feelings and Emily's sincerity. As our relationship progressed quickly, one day Emily told me she wanted me to meet her family. This proposal made me a bit uneasy because we had just met. However, I couldn't resist Emily's insistent and excited manner and agreed. Emily's family lived in a rather remote, desolate town far from the city. When we arrived in the town, the surrounding silence and desolation immediately made me uneasy. Meeting Emily's family, their politeness and hospitality initially put me at ease. However, after a few days, I noticed the peculiar respect the townspeople had for Emily's family. It was as if everyone worshipped them, fulfilling their commands without question. Every day, I observed the townspeople working on Emily's family's farm and helping with household chores. Moreover, they seemed cheerful and willing while doing it. This situation started to make me very uneasy. The unquestioning obedience of everyone in the town and Emily's family's acceptance of this as normal began to plant seeds of doubt in me. One evening, while wandering through the town, I noticed an abandoned house deep in the woods. Unable to contain my curiosity, I approached the house. When I went inside, the sight made my hair stand on end. Every corner of the house was filled with personal belongings of different people. Phones, wallets, jewelry. Each item seemed to belong to the townspeople. When I turned on the screen of one of the phones, I felt like my heart would jump out of my chest upon seeing the photos inside. In every photo, there was Emily, countless photos with the townspeople. As I saw Emily posing happily with different people in each photo, my suspicion grew. How was this possible? Why had these people left their phones here, and why did Emily have such a significant place in each of their lives? These findings thoroughly confused me. I was trying to understand who Emily really was, and why the townspeople were acting so strangely. Was there a secret behind Emily's families and the townspeople's extreme hospitality and kindness towards me? Was Emily's intense interest in me in such a short time and her desire to introduce me to her family part of all these oddities? The next day, as I spent more time with Emily's family and the townspeople, I noticed that they weren't normal, acting as if under some kind of hypnosis. However, Emily's sincerity and beauty made me overlook these oddities. I tried to calm myself by thinking that perhaps the townspeople were just old-fashioned and that living this way was part of their culture. But at night, after Emily and her family went to sleep, I quietly left the house to quell my doubts and went back to the abandoned house in the woods. I examined the belongings inside more closely. I picked up one of the phones and looked at the messages. The messages showed traces of the townspeople's loyalty and obedience to Emily and her family, but even more striking was that most of these messages dated back long before Emily's interest in me began. These discoveries plunged me into deep terror. I had a strong feeling that Emily and her family had established some kind of control mechanism over the townspeople. The belongings and phones I found in the abandoned house showed that this town was not an ordinary place, and that there was a great mystery here. Returning to the house, more confused and frightened than ever, I realized it was no longer safe for me to stay in this town. However, my love and attachment to Emily felt like a force compelling me to stay. Deep inside, I wanted to believe that there was an explanation for all these oddities and that Emily was truly innocent. But as the facts surfaced one by one, this belief was gradually weakening. To be continued, stay tuned.